Hi guys! It's gonna be a little loud over here tonight. Just so you know. Got the kiddos this weekend, and Malachi decided, well, he said he wanted to make cookies, so we went to the store and picked up the stuff, and I made him finish making the cookies. So that's what we're working on right now. And I forgot to get more comfortable, ouch, before getting set up, so. Okay. So this is a little game that is supposed to be kind of like a choose your own adventure novel type game. So I wanted to see what it was about. Okay, we're gonna do text speed pretty fast. Okay. So let's check it out and see how we like it. Straight down from the sky above, a golden eye strains to remain open as sleep tugs at its eyelids. Solitary house lies draped in its fading warmth, nestled in the land like an egg waiting to hatch. It's a pretty house. At its side stands a withered old tree. The swing that hangs from it rests in utter stillness, lacking any wind to stir it. Within the house, silence settles softly around the figure of a sleeping young girl, like the downy feathers of a newborn chick. Her eyes flicker and shift as she begins to awaken. The first breath of awakening escapes my lips as the world fades into view like after a dream. A ceiling different from the one that belonged to my bedroom could be seen, dappled in golden light. I see. Upon falling asleep I had returned to this place. A timeless realm that existed somewhere between the waking world and the world of dreams. A place where one never went hungry and the sun never moved from its spot in the sky. Once again, I was back at that place. Ah, my name is Adelise. It's a pretty name. The time wasn't an issue in the golden dream. Sitting around became unbearable rather quickly. Let's go outside. The vivid golden light of an eternal sunset fills my vision as I exit the house. With no particular destination in mind, I start moving my legs towards the horizon. Eventually, the house behind me shrinks to but a tiny dot in the distance. But even then, green grass is the only thing that stretches out before me. I had done this many times already, so I knew. The golden dream was a wrapping world. No matter what direction you went, if you continued in a straight line, you always ended up back at the house. Isolated and closed off, it wasn't wrong to think of the golden dream as a prison. But if so, the waking world of Socrates was just as much of a prison. Socotrine? Socotrine? I'll go Socotrine until it says otherwise. It's going to be a hassle to walk a full loop back around to the house. Ah, you're here. The presence had appeared at my side during my aimless wandering. Though calling it a presence was a bit of a stretch, seeing as I couldn't see, hear, or touch it. How then did I know it was there? Well, let's just say there's a lot of things that don't make sense in this place. Good evening, Tubby. Tubby, a childish name I had given the immaterial being a long time ago upon noticing it for the first time. Since Tubby didn't exactly have much to work with in terms of characteristics, I had never been able to come up with a better name. Oh well. You like the name Tubby, don't you? The Tubby appeared at my side during my stays in the Golden Dream every now and then. It was hard to say if it offered much in the form of company. Though there are things I can only do when you're around. Lowering myself to the grass, I start to visualize a bicycle in my head. I try to conceptualize every aspect of the bike I can, from its metal frame to its air-filled tires. I even go the extra mile and imagine a cute little bell perched on the handlebars. Concentrating deeply, I shut my eyes. With a slow inhale, I bring my contemplation on the image to a peak. Exhale. Upon opening my eyes, I find the very bicycle I envisioned standing before me as if it had been there all along. Wow, it came out pretty nice. Let's give it a go. I try mounting the bike. But the poor contraption immediately falls apart under my weight, sending me plummeting to the ground with a heroic faceplant. Ow. I don't know why, but whenever Tubby is with me, tinkering around with the fabric of this world becomes possible. There are times when I can do it. There are limits to what I can do, though. Anything I try to instantiate possesses complete fidelity to my vision, so complications arise if I don't truly understand what I'm trying to conceive. Though I understood the general theory behind how a bike worked, when you get down to the nitty-gritties, it's a complex machine that requires many parts to work together in harmony to perform its function. Oh well. I'm not planning on being a bicycle mechanic when I grow up anyways. Disheartened, I detach the bell from the broken down bike and give it a ring as I resume my journey on foot. But it only creates a dull and pitiful sound like the clapping of wood before crumbling to dust in my hand. Oh, we can cross building bills off our list of ambition streams as well. Sorry, my cat had a hold of my headphones. Upon returning to the house, I stopped and pondered the motionless swing under the tree. Several hours had probably already passed, not that it really mattered. Before I knew it, the tree was creaking and groaning overhead like a grandpa cajoled into giving a kid a piggyback ride. As I swayed through the air, my thoughts strained a peculiar avenue. I wonder if God has woes. The nature and veracity of such an existence aside, it was the implication of being all-knowing that interested me. Omniscience. In a way, it could be said I possessed a certain degree of it when it came to the Golden Dream. There's nothing that ever happens here without my knowledge, after all, because nothing changes in this place unless I dictate or define so. I wonder if it's the same. I wonder if, from God's perspective, the universe doesn't change unless they dictate or define it so. If so, I can't think of omniscience as anything more than a curse. In my time, the Golden Dream has taught me anything. That experience new events beyond your control is an irreplaceable treasure. There's beauty in having things happen even when you do not want them to, but looking forward to a hopeful tomorrow of seeing endless possibilities is a privilege of the transient and knowing. For an omniscient being, nothing is random, nothing is unexpected, and nothing is unknown. Tomorrow would only hold the promise of predetermined eternity. It would be like being trapped in the Golden Dream forever. Just imagining it feels suffocating. Anyways, your turn, Tubby. Bringing the swing to a halt, I take a seat on the grass and cover my ears. Darkness fills my vision as I shut the everlasting sunset from my eyes. If there was one thing that kept my mind from breaking this golden purgatory, it was that I had Tubby by my side. Even though Tubby never acts on its own without my input or prompting, the fact that its presence allows me to believe in a will other than my own is my lifeline. When I let go of my ears and open my eyes, I briefly hear the sound of creaking. Looking back, I catch sight of the swing gliding through the air. Donk. Sounds like I tripped over my own 2 feet. Ow! I flop gracelessly on my back as the swing crashes into my forehead. Close up. Such a bully, Tubby. Though everything has transpired according to my design, putting the blame on Tubby instilled much needed color to the bleak reality. It'd be nice if we could play together. Playing on the swing wasn't as fun when there was no one to push you. I always end up finding myself here, don't I? My cradle and my cage. The Celestial Library was the name I had given the sprawling room painted over with stars. Space was distorted in several rooms in the Golden Dream, but it was only here that it felt like the heavens itself were spreading out before you. What should I read today? Books that couldn't be found in the waking world, and books that spoke of the universe beyond Socratrane's closed realm. There was nothing in this garden of knowledge I had left unread. But it wasn't like I had anything else to do. Picking out a book at random, I settled down to a comfy alcove on the second floor. Go ahead and read too, Tubby. I shut my eyes for a bit as I addressed Tubby. When I opened them, an open book can be seen lying on the floor by my side. Now, what do we have here? None of the books in the Celestial Library had an author or title, but all it took was a quick glance at the first sentence for me to discern the book's content. It's been a long time since I read this one, or perhaps it hasn't been that long at all. World of Only One. It was a short story about such a world. As if reflecting the heart of their sole reader, it was a theme that many of the books in this library shared. Now then, take me away once more. Let me slip and fall between the pages, the lines. Only for a moment, I shall dream. Oh, cool. She looks like a doll in the mirror, but where her hands actually touching, she looks real. Once upon a time, there was a world that had lost all but one to time. A lone girl who did not know the warmth of others, yet longed for it still. One day she beheld her reflection in the water and had a thought. If the person on the other side were to come over here, I would no longer be alone. It was a simple and childish wish. Yet the girl poured her everything into that wish. Seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, years. I missed part of that. The girl created many selves as the time ticked-tocked away. One made of wood, one made of clay, one made of porcelain, and one made of plastic. She crafted those selves without end. Dolls that were her very splitting image, that even moved as she might. Yet it was not enough for the girl. For while the dolls could move, it was only when she manipulated them to do so. A self that had their own thought and moved of their own will. The girl labored without end to bring such a self into the world, until at last she was finally able to fulfill her wish. A beautiful doll created in the girl's own image and dressed in trim of 7 colors. Upon seeing its eyes open for the first time, the girl voiced the first greeting in her life. "Hello, dear dreamer." However, the doll could only stare in silence, for it did not know of words. So the girl smiled, deeply and widely from the bottom of her heart. For even if the doll did not know of words, it should know of smiles. That was what the girl thought, or rather, wished for. You must have so many questions, so let me show you. Your not and nil, my all fulfilled. Taking the doll's hand in hers, the girl turned to the water's surface, where 2 reflections rippled like the turning of a tale's pages, the jostling of an upended bookmark. Myself, monochrome, of 7 colors. I am you, you are me. The puppeteer, no more. I am you, and you are me. Words spoken with a smile. They carried meaning the doll could not grasp. Yet somehow the doll felt it understood. This beautiful world I've always longed for, to share it with someone. Won't you come and play with me? The world had not changed by the doll entering it. Yet to the girl it felt like the world she had known for time immemorial had been reborn. It was a life the girl had only been able to dream of. She showed the doll many things, teaching it and blessing it with old experiences made new. Laughing, playing, they collected precious treasure together. Memories, dreams, the 2 held them in their hands. Warm little stones plucked from the sky and placed in a bucket of water and sand. Then one day, as they gazed over the sprawling fields of a world that belonged to them, the girl asked the doll a question. Is it fun? Simple, straightforward question. Scared the crap out of me! Simple, straightforward question, one the doll should have been able to answer. Yet in the end it could only cock its head. What is fun? I understand, but at the same time I do not. That answer is good enough for me. Is it? Yes, the reason I'm not sure what fun is because it's all you know. Having never felt its absence, you are unable to fully grasp its presence. Huh. Winter's bite gives form to summer's light. The cold of night makes the sun bold and bright. Oh, I think I get it. The girl's words made the doll wonder about something. Will you show me unfun things as well? Of course, it's important to experience all the colors of life. Even sadness is a necessary sweet pain, because it lets you know what happiness is. Not enough to just be happy? Even if one knows the utmost of happiness, it is but a hollow construct in a vacuum of not complemented or contrasted by the other colors of life. Hollow. A coin with only one side is meaningless. Coins only have definition and value because they have two sides that can be judged relative to each other. You can't flip a coin and call heads or tails if there's only one side, can you? You can't. The girl giggled when the doll nodded in understanding. Though she was playful like this, she was very wise. There was never a moment when the doll was not learning something from her. Listen well, dear dreamer. The monochrome happiness has no value. Pleasant tints, painful shades, and tones that meld the two together, they're all treasures. It is for that reason that you're adorned in 7 colors. Even things that are painful and sad should be wished for. That was what the girl said. But if so, if all the colors must be, is there something that must not be? If a canvas graced by all the colors of life is what is sought, is a blank canvas what is not? As if reading the doll's thought, the girl shook her head. A canvas that is blank can simply be painted over. No, what must not be allowed is a canvas that is never shared. Something changed about the girl at that moment. Yes, no matter how many canvases teeming with color you paint, if they are not shared, they are never truly complete. The voice that had always been full of brightness and warmth was now dyed a cold and distant shade. Did you know, dear dreamer? No matter how much I wish to, I can't create a story, because a story is a world, and the minimum amount of people required to create a world is 2. A writer can pen enough books to circle the horizon, but without a reader, a story can never be born of it. Without a reader, a book is nothing but a one-sided coin. No matter how much the author wishes for it, no matter how much they pour their soul into it, the story cannot be realized alone. Bitterness, frustration, sorrow, and despair. It was an expression the girl had never shown to the doll before. The image of a stranger and someone familiar overlapped, making the doll afraid to reach out. But more than anything, it did not want to see the girl make such a face. So it spoke up, giving voice to its deepest desire. If it takes 2 people to create a world, then let me be that second person. Let me be your other half. The doll wanted to see the girl's smile again, because without it, it was lost. Please, I don't know what I can do, but I want to help you. Won't you let me? But the doll's heartfelt plea, no, was met with only rejection. Words that carried the doll's earnest wish, they fell to the ground, unvoiced, unrealized. You can't. You can't create a world with me. Why? Why can't I? Because you do not possess a will of your own. What do you mean? Am I not here? Am I not speaking with you at this very moment? That too is just a lie. The words you speak are not your own. They are but a product of a script. The girl's eyes were alien, foreign. They were the eyes of a stranger the doll did not know. The doll did not understand. The girl who had gazed upon it with warm eyes and caressed it with tender hands. Now only coldness dwelled within her eyes, a gulf that could not be traversed, having opened up between the two. The doll could not bear it. It wanted the girl it held dear to come back, and so it asked of the girl, "Why do you forsake me?" "I do not forsake you." "You do." "No, it is myself who I forsake. Because there is no one else after all. There is no one else in the world but me. I am here. I exist. You are nothing but a doll." The doll could not accept the girl's words, and so, compelled by a denial that neared desperation, it lashed out at the girl. But something unexpected happened when the doll's hand made contact with the girl. With a clanking sound, it had fallen to the ground. The girl's arm. An arm not of flesh and blood. There's nothing left for me to hide, is there? Sinking to her knees, the girl cratered the arm lying on the ground. Her hunched figure seemed incredibly small to the doll. Most of my body has already been replaced with doll parts. I am almost as much doll as you. The girl had spared nothing, not even her own body, in her yearning to create another self. It was for that reason that I know that the strings attached to the body and soul are the same as that which controls dolls. Dolls like you don't have any will of their own. They are simply being inhabited by mine. Strings that bestowed life and movement upon the girl's creations. Those very strings were the girl's chains. The dolls under my control cannot do anything beyond what I dictate. Even when they laugh, cry, and sing, those actions never stop being my own. Even you, dear dreamer, you cannot move unless I command it. You are incapable of disobeying the script I write for you. But most importantly, you are incapable of writing your own script. The doll did not know what to say, and did not know how to feel. Perhaps it was shock. Or perhaps it was because the girl had not yet determined what the doll might feel or say. You understand now, don't you, why you can't create a world with me? Because I am you and you are me. A spell to break the glass seal. It left the doll's mouth unbidden. I am all alone in this world, this eternally repeating present. I deceived myself, deluded myself into thinking it was finally over. After so long, my time has finally begun to move. After so long, I finally be able to reach the future. That was what I thought. But it was all just a hollow facade. As when the doll and girl spoke of the cold truth that lay beneath the gilded wonderland. Imagined warmth, fabricated color. In the end, I'm nothing but a lonely girl playing with dolls by herself. Something wet and clear began to stream down the girl's face. It was proof she was human, proof she was alive. And as the doll could not do the same, it was proof she was the only one in the world. A world like this. I don't need it anymore. I can't bear it anymore. A world of only one that continued to turn fruitlessly like a broken cog. I'm tired of it. So tired. I just want to rest now. So the last thing I will have you do, dear dreamer, is end this life of mine. And at that moment it extended from the doll's arm in terribly cold denial, in a formation wrought of steel. He is already in the silver lock. All that's left to do is turn it. With mechanical steps the doll marched forward, just as the girl directed, just as her will desired. In the end I knew exactly what I was doing, didn't I? The reason I created you was to free me from this unending dream. As if guided by invisible strings, the doll's body moved forth. 1 step, 2, the doll advanced towards the girl, tensing, rotating its arm. Now then, this dream that has gone on for far too long. It's time to wake up. With arms spread wide, the girl welcomed the doll into her chest, embracing it sweetly, tenderly, as the doll's 7 colors turned to one. Red, the colorful canvas. Red, the monochrome canvas. Vibrant, vacant, it became overwhelmed with a singular hue. So dark, so cold. Is this death? It's scary, isn't it, dear dreamer? The doll answered it did not. A tear running down its porcelain skin, its porcelain cheek. Red as a rose, it was not clear like the raindrops that flowed down the girl's face. Alone, and so I've been all my life, but at the very least, I didn't want to die that way. With someone at my side, that's how I wanted it to end. Won't you grant that small wish of mine, dear dreamer? Just then the doll's mouth moved, being voiced one last gentle lie. I am here, by your side. We shall sleep together, for I am you, and you are me. And so the world of only one became that of none, as the last that remained slipped into eternal repose. That was a really sad story. When I come to, I find myself lying on a bed. Even before I opened my eyes, though, I knew. Still here, huh? Curling into a loose ball, I find the book I had picked out by my side. Turn my fingers across the book's nameless binding. Blank roughness corresponds. A world where nothing is unexpected and everything is defined by you. A universe of only one. I wonder, what if people were to God as dolls were to the girl? Dolls cannot act on their own, and the puppeteer that controls them can never be ignorant of what they do, because on an intrinsic level their actions are the puppeteer's. In a similar vein, people can laugh, cry, and sing, but is their laughter and lamentations the product of their free will? Or is it all simply the dictation of an unseen script? Create an existence other than your own and breathing life into it, loving it with all your heart and giving it your everything. Yet no matter what you do, it will never be able to escape the intrinsic quality of being an extension of your soul. The despair of knowing your creation can never possess free will or the capacity to grow on its own. It makes you question if you yourself have free will. It makes you question if even God has free will. For an omniscient entity knows everything, even about its own decisions in the future. Does that not forbid free will to that entity? Perhaps free will doesn't truly exist. But even then, I think we should believe that it does. What do you think about that, Tubby? Musing to myself, I turned my gaze to the floor next to the bed. The book I had picked out for Tubby in the Celestial Library was laying there with not a single page turned. What are you, a bumpkin? Don't just offer the mere sight of a book, at least try to read some of it. When I blink and look again, Tubby's book, which had been on the first page, was suddenly on the last. You're not fooling anyone into thinking you read all of that in the blink of an eye. I'm quite conscious of the fact that everything in this exchange is merely part of a script I've imagined, but spirited facades like this were important for keeping my sanity intact. I'm just like the girl in the story, aren't I? Life's most fundamental quality is that it subverts non-existence. Perhaps it could even be said that it was life's most intrinsic purpose, to be something rather than nothing. Something, anything that defies nothingness, anything, everything that fills the world with color and movement. It was the most base and pure of impetuous? Not sure how to say that word. There's a lot of big words in this thing. I'm used to reading them to myself, but not out loud. The blank canvas must be painted over, no matter what the means. But even those beautiful canvases are as null as dust if not shared. I heave a heavy sigh as I rest my head on my book. Being left alone here for so long with nothing but your own thoughts gnaws at you. I never got tired here, and there was no night. The only thing to dictate when I slept was when. Every entry and exit from the Golden Dream didn't seem to have any rhyme or reason to it. There have been times when I've awakened in the alternate after simply shutting my eyes for a bit. Good evening, Tubby. Mumbling something that wouldn't make sense anywhere else, I began to doze off. As I'm fading away, for some reason I'm struck with the inexplicable conviction that Tubby would make for an amazing pillow. Tubby pillows for sale. Buy one get one free. No refunds will be issued if, for some odd reason, your product has no actual physical form. Okay guys, I'm gonna go get some more water real quick. I will be right back. Okay. My son was nice enough to get me my water, but I needed to go grab my chapstick, so... There we go. Ugh. The sound of chirping birds. A song that brings me release so sweet I feel my entire body going slack with relief. My eyes adjust to the warm sunlight flowing through the window. I let out a breath so deep one would think I had been holding it the entire night. Your dad's making cookies! The light breeze rustles the curtains, brushing against my cheek the way one would tenderly caress someone to ease them from their slumber. Probably something few others would ever think about, but the air of the world we live in is alive. It's full of movement, weight, and subtle sense. Hey, can I have a cookie? Fresh baked cookie. Boggy. They're oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. And they're made with dark chocolate instead of milk chocolate. They're so much better than regular chocolate chip cookies. Oh my god. They're so soft and fluffy. Okay, sorry. I normally don't eat on stream. Just have a massive chocolate craving right now. There's a texture to it that the golden dreams ersatz air can never compare to. I'm back. The sights and sensations of the waking world fill me with a maddeningly familiar hunger, like the desire to gorge on the rich stimuli surrounding me. Speaking of eating, something smells good, like the cookies that Molokai is making. The appetizing aroma of breakfast being prepared tickled at my nose, prompting me to slip out of the comfort of my bed. After wrapping up my morning dailies, I descended the stairs to the kitchen where a bowl of chicken congee? Is that actually a breakfast food? Chicken congee? I mean, I have grilled ham and cheese sandwiches for breakfast sometimes, so I guess. What is chicken? I'm gonna look that up. Because if it is breakfast, then I want to try it. Because I have an obsession with breakfast food. Huh. It was chicken and rice porridge. Oh yeah, breakfast food. It's a Asian dish. Makes sense. This was I think it's written by an Asian indie group, I think. Hello. Good morning, Aid. Did you have a restful night? His name is Cecile. His? There? We'll go with there. Because it could be a lady. Yes, it was golden. Holding up the ox sign. The okays. Oh god. Holding up the ox sign instead of okay. I said awk instead of okay. It says okay. But there's no dots, so I was like, awk! Awk! Holding up the okay sign, I blow furiously on a spoonful of the hot rice porridge before guiding it to my mouth. Ah! I give little yelps as my tongue scorches from the unexpected heat. It's hot, fresh out of the pan. Not gonna lie, I do that all the time. Careful, it's fresh out of the pot. Papa makes a troubled expression as he watches me squirm around in my seat. Bleh, hot, hot. Somehow the pain was not unwelcome. This too is one of the tiny treasures of ordinary life, after all. You seem to be in high spirits today, Aid. Something happened in school? Papa pushes a glass of water over to me as he prudently wafts his own chow. Once liberated of the Kongi's searing heat, I think back to the day before the Golden Dream. I believe we're having a bridge construction contest today? Ah, that would explain why you were collecting all those materials last night. Will you be able to carry that all to school, though? Seems a bit heavy. Do you doubt my strength? With a swaggering smile, I flex my legendary textbook-toting biceps. Yeah. Please go get Noletta to help you. I promptly finish eating my meal at the expense of my tongue's outer layers. Usually I'm not too fond of Papa's cooking since he's rather conservative with what he makes. But for some reason his homely chow kongi was an exception. After washing up, I retrieve everything I need to go to put on my shoes. Papa follows along to the door to see me off as he always does. It's okay if you don't win the contest, you know. Just try to have fun. Reaching down, he rubs the side of my head with the pads of his fingers. It was a familiar and comforting sensation, but somehow it made me feel a little lonely. If I don't win, how will I ever realize my long-standing dream of becoming a master bridge builder? As if to escape that lonesome feeling, something fishy I always have trouble with this word. Facetious escapes my mouth. First I've ever heard that's the first I've heard of such a dream. Bah. Papa gives a helpless sigh as he withdraws his hand. Take care, Aid. Stay safe. Bye bye, Papa. See you later. Running out to behold the clear blue sky in the morning was the best way to start a day. But that's not to say I don't love running out to an overcast sky. A rainy sky, a misty sky, a windy sky, a snowy sky. They were all lovely. They were all the best. I find her at the edge of the sprawling green field that makes up our property. A figure so still they seem to blend into the very landscape. This is Noletta. Good morning, Aid. Her rubescent eyes fixate on me as she greets me with a blank expression. Wrong. Reaching out with both index fingers, I push the corners of her mouth up. Greeting should be done with a smile. Huh? Noletta inclines her head, causing her snow-white hair to tickle my wrists. Good morning, Abe. A giggle escapes me when Noletta tries again with the oddly charming smile I've shaped with my fingers. Good morning, Noletta. I beam a big smile at her to drive my point home. Noletta Rue, girl shrouded in mystery to the point where even her age was unknown. She was clearly older than me, though, with an appearance that suggested around 14 or 15 if I had to guess. Despite that, she was very innocent, alarmingly so in fact. One time when we sent her on an errand at the bakery, she almost ended up stealing, utterly oblivious to the concept of exchanging currency for goods. That's why I like her so much, though. Her presence has the effect of making even the familiar and routine feel new and fresh, as if you were experiencing the world for the first time again. It's strangely liberating watching Noletta stare in awe at something as simple and mundane as someone kneading dough, for example. The world is full of ordinary treasures that lie unnoticed right before us. Only we don't realize it unless it's framed in the eyes of another's innocence. No? Even now Noletta was staring fixedly at the big bag of materials hanging from my back. Do you remember? We're supposed to bring in materials for a bridge construction project today. To build a bridge, you need materials. Noletta makes an expression of wonder as the thought never crossed her mind. I didn't bring materials. It's okay, I got you covered. I brought enough for both of us. Thanks, Aid. It'll be tasty. Hmm. Disjointed conversations like this is where it feels like you're not really on the same page with Naletta aren't uncommon. That's just because her way of thinking is unique. In this case, when I said I brought enough for both of us, she probably immediately made an association with lunch. So food's on her mind right now, huh? A question, vermicelli friend. Is Bressel already off smelling the flowers? Naletta pauses and stares at me for a moment before nodding. He went cooking with Mr. Damelure. Why am I silly? Wow, a good score. Well, it may seem odd at first, Noletta's way of thinking is admirably fluid. Yet, something like this should be admired, shouldn't it? I knew you could do it. Yeah. Bouncing on my feet to reach up and reward her with a happy head pat. Though it is slight, my praise draws a smile from her. Playing with Noletta is the best. It's fun going along with her train of thoughts. Anyhow, Bressel was Noletta's older brother. Both of the Ruse siblings were quite unversed in the world for their age. It's something I've wondered about ever since they came to reside on our property around a year ago. Okay, let's go meet up with the others. I often think about it, though. Ugh, my hand is cold. Noletta's in a lower effective grade than me, despite being a fair deal older. It's true that my physical age reflects little due to the time I've spent in the Golden Dream. But if I'm ahead of my time because of the Golden Dream, for what reason could Noletta be behind hers? I study Noletta's expressionless profile quietly as I walk by her side. Noletta! Aid! A voice that conjured the image of an excited puppy bounding up to you, its tail wagging, interrupts my scrutiny. Looks about right, yeah. And her name... I missed it. Just when the voice's owner is about to spring on us, though, she suddenly freezes in place with a flustered expression. Oh no, I forgot to try out the trending new surprise greeting that's all the rage nowadays. Her name's Lorona. Okay. A bit late for that now. Oh look, Noletta, you didn't see me. Huh? Though she clearly doesn't follow, Noletta obediently complies with Lorona's instructions. Alright. Romping behind her, Lorona throws her hands over Noletta's eyes. Who is it? Ah, it went dark. Guess who it is? Guess who it is? I don't know. Object permanence is something you develop when you're an infant, Noletta. I'll give you a hint, Noletta. It starts with an L and ends with an A. Oh, and you love eating it. Starts with an L, ends with an A, and is yummy? Lasagna? Don't turn me into pasta casserole. Lasagna. Paying Lorona no heed, Noletta takes hold of one of the hands covering her eyes and stuffs it in her mouth. Nom. She is so cute and innocent, oh my goodness. Ah, don't eat me, it's Lorona! Lorona, I tell you! Lorona flails in panic as Noletta latches on with her teeth. Meet Lorona, though she might strike you as the type of airhead that gets lost tottering after butterflies, she's quite responsible, although not necessarily reliable, individual. Despite being only 15, she's a talented textile artisan that helps support the orphanage she calls home with her earnings. It's no wonder she has... Don't just stand there narrating, do something, Abe! Any time to sleep between helping care for the children, her craft, and school. If I were to describe her in a short title, it would be Unreliable Moral Compass. What kind of title is that? Doesn't taste like lasagna. After coming out to the conclusion that Lorona was indeed not lasagna, Noletta finally lets go. Trying to eat people is bad, okay, Noletta? Okay. Anyways, good morning, lasagna. Huh? It's Lorona, not lasagna. You're confusing her age. Good morning, lasagna. I'm having an identity crisis, and her name changed to Lasagna. There. I give Lasagna a pat on the noggin as she curls up and cradles her head. If it makes you feel better, you do go pretty well with garlic bread. Yeah. Sound like air escaping a balloon. Lasagna deflates into the ground. Well, nothing to see here. Then Noletta seems curious about Lasagna's newly acquired two-dimensional state. She follows after me as I make to leave the scene. Together, the two of us enjoy a nice relaxing stroll to school. Don't just leave me behind! As the three of us travel alongside a stream that winds towards our destination, we happen upon a dead wayfarer. Come on, Triss. Canoodle the ground some other time. Kalia? A displeased girl could be seen impatiently tapping her foot beside the corpse in question. It was easy to see why he had succumbed. An absurd amount of project gear was strapped to his back, enough that it practically buried his prone figure. Poor Triss. You shouldn't rush him since he's carrying your stuff too, Kalia. He's just carrying my usual bag. The rest is junk I told him to leave behind. He always brings a bunch of garbage we never actually use whenever we have projects. Jeez. As Lorona begins liberating Triss from his burden, Noletta crouches down next to his body and stretches out her hand. Ah! Her hand halts as the boy in question suddenly stirs and rises to its feet. It's alive! Watch out, Noletta, it's a zombie! The zombie? It's a reanimated corpse that likes eating people's brains. Trying to eat people is bad, Mr. Zombie. She is too cute. Faced with Noletta's inexplicable admonishment, Triss seems at a loss. Hope you enjoyed your nap. These two are the 11-year-old Lyrit twins, Kalia and Tristan. We make an effort to walk to school together. The Lyrits were habitually late, making today a rare occurrence where all 5 of us were present. As for why Triss was carrying Kalia's bag in addition to his own load, it was simple. Kalia had no arms to speak of below the elbows. Wounds from the fire collapsed. You scared the crap out of me, cat! You're such a pain. You're such a pain. Mwah! I love you so much. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Butthead. Wounds from the fire collapse that befell 9 years ago. There were many in Socotrain who bore similar disfigurations. Triss as well had not remained unscathed. The smoke from the prismatic flames of that day had stripped him of his voice, rendering him mute. There were heavy scars, yet never seemed to weigh down the Lyrit twins. Always on the move, with new things happening in their presence all the time, it made me want to continue watching them to see where they go, and where they might take me. Wow, spring's really showing its full colors early this year. Wandering over to a wayside willow, Lorona marvels at the bed of flowers nestled under its eaves. Ah, I know. Over here, Noletta. Lorona waves Noletta over after picking several flowers from a particularly bountiful patch. I'm going to teach you something nice, so listen up. Taking Noletta's hands in hers, Lorona threads a flower between her fingertips. One way to show people you care about them is to place a flower in their hair like this. Gently handling Noletta's hand, Lorona guides the flower up and through her carroty locks. Get it? After examining her newly changed appearance for a bit, Noletta nods. If you understand, then show me. Lorona entrusts the rest of the flowers to Noletta with a smile. After gazing at the flowers for a while, Noletta seems to come to some sort of conclusion. Kalia, Triss, I care about you. You don't have to listen to everything Lorona tells you, you know. In contrast to Kalia's flustered reaction, Triss expresses himself with a heartfelt bow, as if he has been graced by an angel. Aww. Guess it's my turn next. As Noletta reaches out with the last remaining flower, though, I'm cast with a spell of whimsy. At the last moment, I tilt my head to the side, causing her to miss. Huh? Noletta attempts to place the flower in my hair again, but I pull away once more. You won't let me? Nope. Let me. Undeterred, Noletta tries to put the flower in my hair again. Noletta can be quite stubborn at times. But I just don't feel like letting her have her way. Last remaining flower. Okay, fine. With a shrug, I stop moving and keep still. But just as she's about to thread the stem through my hair, I pluck it out of her hand, reaching up and setting it on her snow-white tresses instead. Ah! Putting a finger to her lips, I stick my tongue out at her. Gotcha! I smile and wink triumphantly. Uh-oh, she looks pretty upset. Pale white flower suits you far more than me anyways. Huh? After puzzling over my words for a moment, Noletta nods quietly to herself. I need to find a flower that suits Aid. How sad, it seems there aren't any flowers left around here ready for picking. I'm going ahead. Wait, Triss still needs help carrying his stuff. But Noletta doesn't seem to hear. Aid, Kalia, could one of you lend us a hand? Exchanging a glance with me, Kalia dangles her empty sleeve with a shrug before skipping off ahead. This calls for immediate, evasive action. You got this, big sis Lorona. Snapping my index fingers at her, I turn on my heels and bolt. Hey! Don't only pull the big sis card when it's convenient! Upon catching up to Kalia's side, I slowed her stroll. As if in agreement that we had witnessed nothing, the two of us mosey along in silent solidarity. So I have to say, it's pretty funny how good of a mood Noletta's simple act has put Kalia in. You know, not just Noletta. Bending forward to get a good angle on her face, I gaze into Kalia's eyes. I care about you too. What? Shut up, I'm not stupid. You're just trying to tease me again like you always do. You're such a little troll. How dare you? I am a sweet young girl. Still though, I wonder why this always seems to happen. Up ahead, Noletta was poking through the bushes in search of flowers. Far behind, Lorona and Triss were floundering around under the weight of their cargo. Under the promise of budding trees, we once again failed to travel to school as a proper group of 5. Thought there was more of a break in between than that. Despite our morning antics, we somehow managed to arrive to school early. Upon entering the one classroom built Upon entering the one classroom building, an array of empty desks meet us, save for one. Amidst the illuminating light of early morning, she was there. A young woman whose presence held a mysterious allure to it. With immaculate form and perfect posture, she sat unmoving at one of the far side desks. Good morning, Erwina? Erwina. Erwin. Erwina. The A wasn't there, I would say Erwin. Like Aaron. Erwina. Erwina. Hello, Aid, Kalia. Angling her head in our direction, Erwina returns our greetings with a vague nod. While I knew Erwina was the oldest student at our school, it was difficult to get a good read on her age with how her eyes were always bandaged over. A flower that suits Aid. I couldn't find one. We made it. Noletta, Lorona, and Tristan as well. As if taking his cue, Triss similarly keels over and kisses the ground. Keels over. Don't mind him, that's just Triss being the usual drama queen. I see. Something felt different about Erwina today. She felt absent-minded, her responses subdued, lacking their usual self-possessed weight. Was something troubling you, Erwina? Now that I think about it, wasn't it odd she was sitting back here at this back row desk? Feel free to tell us about it. I'd love to meddle, you know. You're quite perceptive, aren't you, Aid? With a light chuckle, Rowena traces her finger across the surface of the desk before her. It's true that I have something on my mind. As you may know, none of these desks in the back row are currently in use. Everyone occupies some spot on the world in terms of space and resources. However, it is not as though the school is lacking in those. Even though the possibility of filling these vacancies exists, it remains unrealized. Rowena's idle hand motions come to a stop, her voice taking on a mysterious tone. It's a strange feeling, this feeling that where someone could be, there is no one. Where someone could be, there is no one. Rowena's words conjure a certain image in my mind's eye. An image of her sitting here lost in thought all alone, thinking perhaps of the absence of warmth of someone who would have been here with us today had the cards fallen differently. Sorry, Rowena, but there might be less space in the school than you think. If you look at the desks back here, you'll find they're all stuffed to the brim with books. It seems like the hoard for some hopeless bibliophile. So yeah, we might not actually have any room for the new students. The heck? If we don't get any new classmates because Ade's such a bookworm, I'm gonna be mad. At least my books don't sell me out. I suppose it would get rather cramped given how lively it already gets around here. I will probably have to report the troublemaker using school property without permission, though. Take me away, officer. I jest, of course. Schools are for learning, after all. It is senseless to hit the hen for laying eggs. Now that I think of it, though, the 5 of you are here quite early today. That's right, we're really pumped for today's competition. Is Mr. Naro not here yet? It appears Lorena's attempt to resuscitate her fallen comrade have not been bearing fruit. Worry not, father will be arriving shortly. That's right. No student in name, it was more accurate to say Rowena taught alongside her father, if anything. Oh? Long I have awaited the day my students arrive early, such as their enthusiasm to learn. Mr. Naru, an eccentric individual who has constructed the school using his own fortune in the wake of the fire of collapse. The fact that he even personally taught was a testament to his dedication to the next generation. I still remember his baffling self-introduction upon meeting everyone at the beginning of the school year. Naru can be interpreted to mean white wings of learning. If it's difficult for you to understand, you may refer to me as Mr. Naru for now. It's, I'm not pronouncing it right. Naru? Just like on that first day, our enigmatic teacher was casually toting around a gargantuan valise. I doubt anyone has my morning lark over here beat in terms of getting up at god-awful hours, though. Parting with one's bed sheets is a Herculean ordeal for everyone, Mr. Night Owl. Smiling wryly, Rowena rises to assist Mr. Naru with unpacking the valise's contents. Though she generally relies on a retractable rod to navigate, I've noticed that sometimes she just doesn't seem to need it. I wonder how she does it. That thing sure is living up to its reputation as a bottomless black hole, isn't it? We watch on as the valise palpably shrinks as it is released from its bulging payload. Was this for the construction competition? What looked like a disassembled table and the components of a board game had been laid out before us. Ah, about that, and I've decided to postpone the bridge building contest until tomorrow. We'll be having a lecture on the history of Socratine instead, with these materials serving as visual aid. No, it can't be true. It was all in vain. It was all in vain. Ah. Letting out a strange cry, Lorona sinks to the ground with a soft thump. The floor seemed to be quite the popular resting spot today. Aid, I don't have to use your materials. Though she probably means to say something along the lines of, it's good I don't have to impose on you again. I decide to misinterpret it. I knew. I see. I knew this day would come. You've finally grown sick and tired of me and my shoddy materials. Eh? I understand, Noletta. I'm just not good enough for you anymore. Even then, I never imagined it would hurt this much to get discarded and forgotten. Wiping at my eyes, I sniffle and lower my gaze. It's not like I want you to use my materials or anything. Hey, I'll use your materials, so don't be sad. She looked like she was about to cry. Aww. There were actually tears in her eyes. You're so devoted, Noletta. Unable to contain myself, I giggle as I reach up to pinch her on her cheek. She makes some weird noises but doesn't try to resist me as I play with her face. We will wait for several more students to arrive before commencing class. Our class had around 12 regular students in total. Since it had such a wide age range, lessons could fluctuate from learning basic language one day to advanced science the next. Fortunately, the school was well equipped for dealing with its unique circumstances. Guess that's one of the perks of being funded by a wealthy teacher. So those of us still standing kill some time poking at Lorona and Triss before class finally begins. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and save. Because it is a little after 12 and I've been up since like 6:45, 7 o'clock this morning. I need sleep. I'm so tired. I got like 3 hours of sleep last night. So, thank you guys for coming out. This is a cute little story. I'm getting more and more into the characters as we go on, so I definitely want to read some more of this. I like it. But, I will see you guys tomorrow sometime. I'm not sure what I'm going to stream tomorrow. I've got a couple more free games that I want to check out from Steam. So, anyway, do that awesome thing you do and stay yourselves, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye! Bye!